Hi everyone, I'm Lisa. I'm one of the members of the East Barnet Big Choir, and Sharon kindly asked me if I would be happy to share with you a recipe. So I'm going to show you how to make potato gnocchi. Quite a simple recipe. You only need a few ingredients. You need some potatoes, around a kilo of potatoes. I'm using Maris Pipers, or King Edward's are good as well. Basically a starchy potato is best. You also need around 200 grams of flour. If you can get hold of the type 00 pasta flour, that's amazing. If not, I think you'd probably be okay with some plain flour and some salt. So the first thing you need to do, and I've done that already, obviously, in Blue Peter style, is to boil your potatoes with their skins on until they're cooked. Try, if you can, to find potatoes that are all about the same size, because they'll cook around the same time. Then, once they're cooked, let them cool down slightly. I'm not sure you can see, these are still steaming, which is how you want them. Cook them whole with their skins on, I think I said that. Peel them, and then basically you want to mash them. If you have got one of these mashers or ricers, they're really great. If not, a normal standard potato masher is fine. So I'm just going to carry on. I did start this just to get going, just kind of squeeze it through. It's a bit of an upper body workout as well. Add a little bit of salt. I don't really know how much, maybe half a teaspoon should be enough. And then basically you want to start adding the flour. You might not need it all. You kind of need to get a bit of a sensation for the dough, really. You don't want it too wet. You don't want it too, so you don't want it sticky, basically. You want to be able to manipulate it a little bit, but you don't want it too dense either, otherwise the gnocchi will become quite, not nice, basically. You want them to be light and fluffy is how they should turn out. Try and get this into a workable dough. Might take a minute. Apologies, I could sing in the meantime, but I don't think you want to hear me sing. I'm fine in a group, I'm not a soloist. You see it's coming together quite quickly into a kind of dough, which is nice. So I probably used about, not quite half of that flour, although I didn't use all of the potatoes, I used a little bit less. So just kind of play it by ear a little bit. You want it to come together. So once you've got it in a dough, just kind of get it to a nice ball. Don't overwork it. So I think that's probably about where it should be. You see, I didn't need it for very long. It's not the same as making actual pasta where you would need it for a lot longer. So you can see it's kind of come together. It's not falling apart. We should be ready to go. So I'm just going to try and clean off my board a bit. Put a bit of flour on the board so it doesn't stick, because the dough is a little bit sticky. Shouldn't be super sticky, but it is a little bit. Right, so I'm going to roll this out into a sausage. Keep going. There we go. Pretty good. Right, and then you kind of just make some little parcels, basically. Just chop them. Try and keep them around the same size. It just means when you cook them, again, they'll cook at the same time. You can freeze the dough, which is good if you find you've made too much, because they are quite filling. You don't really need loads of these. So when you pick up one of your little parcels and a fork, and basically to get that kind of classic shape that you see in the ones you buy in the shops with the ridges, you literally just kind of run the little parcel down the fork, and it just kind of inherits the ridges of the fork. Just keep doing that. This is a bit of a faff, but it's fun. Again, this is what you can get the kids doing. Cheese grater works just as well. If you've got one of those triangle graters, that's it. And you just kind of keep going, really. When you've made them all, I won't obviously bore you for 10 minutes doing this. They're really easy to cook. I will kind of post another little video on cooking them, but all you need to do is boil a big pan of water, drop in the dumplings. Don't overfill the pan, so cook them in batches if you've got loads of them. Otherwise they'll all stick together and that become a bit gluey, which is not what you want. And basically they tell you when they're ready. So when they're ready, they float to the top of the boiling water. Obviously add some salt to the water when it's boiling, as you would with any pasta. And then just kind of scoop them up. As I said, it's easy to cook them in batches and keep them warm. And that's kind of it. But now, in terms of sauces, you can kind of do anything really, but I think they've served really well with just a classic plain tomato sauce made with tomatoes, a bit of onion and garlic and a bit of basil, and obviously some Parmesan cheese on top. I will show you another little video later of when I actually cook them, but that is really how quick and easy it is to make potato gnocchi from scratch. So hopefully you've liked this little tutorial. We are going to post it to the Facebook group so you can have a good look, and then please comment if you have any comments, or when you get to make them, feel free to message me on Facebook and I can try and help you out. Right, that was all. Take care everyone, bye.
Hi again all, so this is the second part of the video with me trying to show you just how to cook the gnocchi that you've made. So here are my gnocchi ready to go. Here's my pan of boiling water and my pan of tomato sauce, which is ready too. So you basically just drop them into boiling water. Like I said, don't overfill your pan. If you can, do them in batches, because it will be a shame because they stick together. Just let them, it's probably enough for the first batch. And it is super easy, so I'm freestyling with the camera this time. I haven't got the tripod, so excuse it as it wanders a bit. Remember to add some salt to the water, and literally in a matter of not very long at all, they should start to float. Look, they're just starting to bob up now. So slowly they'll all start bobbing up to the top. Means they're more or less ready. So what I generally do is just fish them out with a slotted spoon, drop them into the sauce, go back to the ones in the pan, just probably turn off the heat under the sauce as well, because that doesn't need a long time to heat up, especially if it's ready made. I would also add, if I can find another spoon handy, a little bit of the cooking liquid just to loosen up the sauce. There we go. That's a tip with any pasta you're cooking actually. That's a bit better. And back to the boiling pan. They're starting to bob up again. Literally in a matter of minutes they come up ready, telling you they're ready. I'll throw a couple more in to my sauce. Turn the heat off, a bit of a mix. Get your plate ready. Top with some grated Parmesan, and there are your homemade gnocchi with a simple tomato sauce. Enjoy!